Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and today we're going to be talking about DC previews. This is issue 18 for October 2019. This is soliciting comics on sale for December 2019. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, for the previews, I do it for DC and I do it for Marvel. And the way I do it is basically I just do a cold read. I have not looked inside. I have no idea what to expect other than what the cover shows. And I just kind of read it probably the way you would. A little bit faster. I don't sit down and read all the details. I'll go back later and read a lot of the paragraphs, but that would just take hours. And I try to be, I try to be like really hot or cold on my reactions. Part of that's on purpose. I don't think anyone wants to listen to one of these videos or watch one of these and just see, a milquetoast like, oh, this looks okay, this looks okay, just like, something, if it looks bad, I'm going to maybe kind of say, I'm going to have peaks and valleys, more exaggerated reactions. So let's go ahead and get started and see what's inside. On the cover here, it's a really cool cover. I'm a massive Frank Miller fan. So any return to Dark Knight is fine with me. Some people say, oh, it's overdone. Should have stopped a while ago. I disagree. Nothing is ever going to take away from the Dark Knight Returns, no matter how much you add to it. So if Frank Miller can keep writing, I know he's not his old self. He's definitely past his prime, but you know what? We only have so many years left. The guy's not getting any younger, and I'm going to cherish everything that he has to do, even if it's only 50% of what it used to be. So let's go ahead and see inside. DC previews. Oh, look at all these. Look at all these people. Here's part of the problem with DC right now. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen. Alright, we're not here to talk about that. Going too fast. Yeah, there's a control. It's funny, at the bottom of the screen here to control single pages or whatnot. But if you hit it wrong, it's also right next to the turn to the next page. It just makes it hard. Alright, so here we go. Got it under control. Spotlight. The next phase of Year of the Villain begins here. Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen. Well, James Tynion IV and Steve Epting. That's a good combination. Now, I have been a big proponent of the Year of the Villain. I think it's a cool idea for an event. That little 25-cent preview issue that they sold, I thought was great. I read it, really enjoyed the story. It hooked me in for the concept. And I really love that this is partially a sequel to Metal. That it's carrying over some of these things. And that means a lot to me because one of the big complaints about modern comics is how things don't matter, right? Well, DC did this big, huge thing with Metal, and it could have been easily just to be like, let's just forget it and move on, do something new the way Marvel does. They go from War of the Realms to Symbiotes and Carnage to Annihilation to 2099. They're just bounce all over the place. Nothing seems to relate to anything. Nothing really matters. I hate that. DC is doing things that matter in their universe, and I think that's a good thing. A lot of people have been kind of upset about Year of the Villain because they remember Month of the Villain, and I wasn't buying comics during that time, so I didn't really know. I had it explained to me, and definitely a lot of the things in Month of the Villain sound awful. Like, it's just, and I did see, in the back issues where they did that month, and they would have like multiple versions of the same, like issue 23 of Batman. That may be the wrong number. I'm just pulling it out of my ass, but be like, then you get 23.1 and 23.2 and 23.3 because they have like a villain issue. And you're just like, that's terrible. Like, come on. It's just, quit milking fans like this. Well, Year of the Villain wasn't doing that. Year of the Villain, what I liked about it was like it was a non-linear event. you just had the event happening. The story of what Luthor selling off all of his assets and then using that to give special gifts to all the world's villains so that they could beat their particular hero. I was like, this is kind of neat. And then you weren't forced to read through 79 issues like in War of the Realms to follow the story. It was just, this is kind of what's happening, and if you're interested in like how that affects Supergirl, you can read the Supergirl books. If you're interested in Hawkman, you read Hawkman, And so it was just like, oh, so the books that I'm reading already, I'll get their portion of it. I'll see how it affected them. And the books that I'm not reading because I don't care about them, I don't. And I don't feel pressured to spend all this extra money on an event. I really, really like that. I was expecting there to be sort of like a 6-issue miniseries, like this core series that told the foundation narrative that like linked everything. I haven't seen that, but instead what I've seen are these You're the Villain one-shots. And this is what I'm not liking. Number one, I don't like this aspect where everything's the number one these days. But then I look closer, and Hell Arisen, this is a 4-issue miniseries. Uh-oh. I like James Tynion, and I kind of like the story You're the Villain. I don't... Unless this is it, unless this is what I talked about with the core series, then I'm okay. If it's just a 4-issue series, and then the non-linear stuff in the books, fabulous. Yes, I just said fabulous. But then we have this, Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year, number 1. That's a one-shot, and it's Mark Russell, and it's going to be crap. Ocean Master, You're the Villain, one-shot. Okay, I don't know. Okay, The Low Woods, Joe Hill. He's a horror writer. This should be a Vertigo book, but DC canceled Vertigo in order to make their imprints less confusing. And by making it less confusing, what they did is put it under Black Label, under a separate imprint under Black Label called Hill House Comics. Yeah, there's a bunch of lies. You were lied to. Dan Didio lied to everyone. Vertigo failed, and they didn't want to be accountable for their failure, so they spun it. They spun it. Oh, we're just simplifying the line. That's why Vertigo had to go. No, it's because you all screwed up. This should be... Vertigo is the house of horror, and this is where this belongs, and you didn't have to cancel it. Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child, number 1. This I will buy, because it's Frank Miller. The guy's a legend. And let's see what it says down here. The Dark Knight began as its heroes were getting older. Now we're seeing the next generation in action. It was only natural to bring Raphael to usher in these heroes that are vigorous, untested, and loaded with promise. All right. So, what gets me a little bit is they call this The Dark Knight Returns The Golden Child, but if it's not really about The Dark Knight Returns, if it's about like a new generation of heroes from that continuity, I hate when you just play off the names like that. But $5.99, 48 pages. Yeah, that's like a Indiegogo book. Cost you $35. This will get you Frank Miller for $5.99, prestige format. Suicide Squad number 1. This looks terrible. Tom Taylor has been nothing but terrible over there at Marvel. So he does a little better over at DC, but Suicide Squad, I don't even know where to begin. I'll go down this rabbit hole if I start talking about it. Infected Deathbringer. Let's look at this. This is what's been causing a lot of controversy lately. Written by Zoe Quinn, art by Ben Oliver. This is the other event. DC's got like 3 events going on, and this is really troubling to me as well. They are not the house events like Marvel. I used to be able to defend them and say, oh, DC only does like 2 events a year and Marvel does like 6. They're doing 3. You got Bendis's stupid thing that no one can remember, Event Leviathan. It seems like it's been going on forever because it had like a 6-issue prelude to it, Leviathan Rises, or Rising, or who knows. And now we're in the middle of Event Leviathan. Then you've got the Year of the Villain, which is going to go for a year. It's going on till March. And then we have this story, which feels like it's the Year of the Villain, but it's actually the other sequel to Metal. And it's following the Batman-Superman storyline with the Batman Who Laughs. And I call it an event because they're doing special one-shot books. And then they're going to be following up these books with Dark Multiverse books. And it's like, stop this. Deathbringer by Zoe Quinn. You know, she was recently in the news for driving a man to suicide. So it's really crazy that DC is going on with this book. It's even crazier that they're calling it Deathbringer. Zoe Quinn it's going to be her nickname going forward. It's just, and it's almost like they're just spitting in your face. It's almost just like, yeah, we know we hired someone who has no merit, that helped kill Vertigo, actually helped kill a real person, can't sell a comic to save her life, she's poisoned everywhere she goes, but, we're here to make political statements. So why hire talent when we can hire, political, someone who's made herself famous by being controversial. Then we've got the Infected, the Commissioner. So the Infected are the whole storyline of Batman, Superman is that the Batman Who Laughs is running around. He's infecting some of the heroes in the DC universe. We now know that the Commissioner Gordon is one, Donna Troy is one, and Shazam is one. I think there's 6 total. New Year's Evil. $10 one-shot book. Pass. Oh yeah, so here's the Tales of the Dark Multiverse. The Judas Contract. Again, another one-shot, $6 book. I don't have room in my pull list for these, DC. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 8 facsimile edition. Remember, I think this is the death of Barry Allen, which he's not dead, so it loses kind of its luster. DC's bringing back their 100-page giants, and they're not only in Walmart anymore. And they rebooted them, because that's 2019 for you. Everything just gets rebooted. It's sad. But they might be worth checking out. 100 pages, especially for someone like me who's not a huge DC guy. Like this, I'm really new to DC. This is a lot of reprint stuff, but I won't have read it. So, what the hell am I looking at? And who is this? Why does she look like a freaking cave woman? It's supposed to be Wonder Woman? It's gotta be Wonder Woman, right? Oh, come on. Wonder Woman Death Earth number 1. I think I'm gonna have to start doing what I do for Marvel and make fun of the number 1s, because look how many number 1s DC is just pooping out. Batman Tales, Once Upon a Crime, trade paperback. This is another one of their novels for kids. Now, remember when they were like, we're simplifying our lineup, so we don't want to be confusing. Where is the imprint on here that tells me this is for DC kids? Do you see it anywhere in the picture? I don't. I mean, the art looks very childish, but same here. Cassandra Cain graphic novel. These books are very insidious, by the way. I read the Super Sons book. They completely change everything in these characters. They completely modernize them for a millennial type look. They're pure propaganda. At least the one that Super Sons one was. This is dog shit to me. Don't let your kids read this stuff. Zatanna and the House of Secrets. It's here. It's an insidious way of rebranding the characters for the new generation going forward. DC is doing it a little bit more secretive, a lot more secretively. Like Marvel just sort of threw it in your face and was like, here, these new characters. DC is sort of like, okay, we're going to plant the seed in your kids so that when we make the change, there won't be as big of an uproar like Marvel. We learned that lesson. We're going to keep our comics more towards the old school fan, but the kids, will get these, these changes, and you won't really notice it because parents are going to buy these books for their kids. They're not going to read them themselves, most likely. So they're not going to be as offended. They're not going to be like, oh my God, what are you doing in these books? So the kids will grow up reading it, and that'll be their vision of what the characters are like, and everything else will just be on autopilot. Action Comics 1018. Here it comes. Here it comes. Bendis is like, I'm not done screwing up Superman. This is where Superman reveals his identity to the world, I guess. And what I've heard is that he's not only going to reveal, it's not going to be like we think, he's just going to reveal, it's going to reveal that he's married to Lois and not actually Clark Kent. So Clark Kent's going to be, he's just going to take the hit for his wife. So as Clark Kent, everyone's going to call him a big, I don't know. It sounds terrible if it's all right. And even if it's wrong and Superman just announces to the world that who he is, oh God, it sounds terrible too. I feel bad for Superman fans, because I am one, and I can't enjoy Superman. Aquaman, it's got some cool looking covers. At least it has that going for it. Even the alternate cover looks pretty sick. But that's what DC does. You got to be careful when you see these awesome covers. They often do that to hide and prop up like people like Kelly Sue DeConnick, who's just, no one's happy with Aquaman that I'm hearing. And you can see it. Same thing with Bendis. They give Bendis all the best talent to prop him up, and he still doesn't sell. Batgirl 42. Oh man, Cecil Castellucci's terrible. I feel bad for Batgirl fans. Batman 84. This is the penultimate issue. He ends his run at 85, and I'm gonna see if I can do this. I'm gonna do this thing about Batman where I'm gonna read through the whole series and see if I can do it by the end of Tom King's run to chronicle where it's going. I gotta do this by December, so I gotta get going. Batman 85, the final issue, with $5. $6 if you want the cardstock variant cover. DC just turning into Marvel. Batman Beyond 39. My understanding is they are changing their DC is doing another poor Dan Jurgens. So my understanding here, I don't really read Batman Beyond, so I just have to listen to other people who do. My understanding here is that Terry McGinnis is out, and he's going to be replaced with a new girl. So Batman Beyond is going to be not a Batman. You did this to Nightwing, which now Dan Jurgens is trying to fix. Now you're doing it to Don't. Curse of the White Knight. Okay, here's a breath of fresh air. Holy shit. This is one of the best books on the shelves. 8-issue miniseries, 32 pages, $4.99, worth every penny. I actually buy both covers. I have not done that to any comic since coming back into collecting. And it's something I'm really against, but I am so in love with Curse of the White Knight. What Sean Murphy's doing, he's not going to be around for very long. This is a guy who is so good that he is going to naturally evolve his way out of comics. Or he's going to become a super rock star in the indie scene. So enjoy the Batman while you can get it, because DC will not be able to afford him much longer. He's going to go the way, like I said, either he's going to become an indie superstar, and he's not going to do mainstream books anymore, or he's going to go the way even beyond that, which a lot of great artists go, and they just do actual fine art or commercial art and do things that pay much bigger money. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be a sad day. So relish everything you can get from him right now, because I don't think you'll see him in comics for that long. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. The Batman's Grave. This should have been Batman 86. I'm all for James Tynion taking over. I'm happy. But as soon as they announced Tom King, they sort of said, okay, this story is going in. It's Batman 86. We don't need more miniseries. 12-issue miniseries? Why? Warren Ellis, Brian Hitch, and Kevin Nolan? I want to read this book, but I can't afford to throw it on my list. I don't know. I'm troubled. Batman and the Outsiders, number 8. I really like Brian Hill. Guy is great. I like his writing typically, and I think he's a great professional. I'm not really in love with this book. It's a fine book. It's an okay book. I'm not against it. If anyone says, "Oh, I like Batman and the Outsiders," then I'm like, fantastic. I'm so happy you got this. I want to like this book. I love Brian Hill's Detective Comics run. The whole reason I even get Detective Comics to this day is because of his run. I'm not feeling this book. I'm just not. So it's on the chopping block, whatever. I don't know if I'll make it to number 8. We'll see. I'm going to finish up the run or the arc that I'm on. Batman and Superman number 5. This book I am liking. I like Joshua Williamson. I like David Marquez's art. And that's another thing. I'm not a Dexter Soy fan. So I think that's part of the problem, is the art is really a stumbling block for me. A lot of people love Dexter Soy, and that's great because you get a book where the art you love, but when you don't like the art, it really detracts. So Josh Williamson, I like, and I like this art. I like Batman and Superman together, which is weird because I didn't used to. So I'm enjoying this book. I'm going to keep going. $3.99 for 32 pages. The cardstock bullshit has got to go. Catwoman 18. I think Catwoman is a great Batman villain. I think she has great dynamic with her being a love interest and a villain. Also, she's not an evil villain. She's a villain because she's a criminal and she robs people, to which Batman has to stop. But she's not. That's kind of her limit, right? She doesn't go out and hurt people. She doesn't try to be evil per se. She's a thief. And Batman sort of looks the other way a little bit because he thinks she can be redeemed, and he's also kind of in love with her. All that dynamic makes for great storylines. I don't think it makes good for her to have her own comic. I don't like villains having their own book. People tell me it's well done. That's great. Joel Jones, good artist. It's fine. It's not for me. Deathstroke 50. This is the book. It's over, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't jump on. But this is the book I wanted to read. This is a book I don't know why I don't read, because it's right up my alley. It's good. Now it's over. So maybe I'll catch it in trades and not have to feel the obligation to buy into it, because thanks to DC for canceling it. Way to go, DC. Detective Comics 1017. You can't go wrong with... What? What? What is this? What is this? Oh my God. Are you... What is... Oh, guest writer Tom Taylor. All right. Okay. All right. Tony Daniel doing the art. Oh, he's doing the cover. Never mind. Fernando Blanco. All right. One issue. Okay. Actually, Tom Taylor can do some decent stories when he reins in all of his Trump derangement syndrome. He'll probably be okay on Batman. Okay, we'll see. Okay. False alarm. Everyone calm down. Detective Comics 1018. Peter Tomasi's back. Good. What I don't like is this revolving art door, right? We had Fernando Blanco, and we got Scott Godlewski. What happened to Doug Monkeys doing the current run right now? Like, can we get a solid guy? What? Doomsday. Oh, yes. Jeff Johns is comic book master. He is the modern day equivalent, the post millennial equivalent of, if you were to put, who could you compare to, like, the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, men of that stature, who today would be close as that shoes? This guy right here. DC should be putting all their cards onto this guy. This guy, he should be what Stan Lee was to Marvel, Jeff Johns should be for DC. I'm utterly convinced this guy should be all that. I don't know if he wants to be, but he should be. Flash, Josh Williamson, quietly just writing one of the most consistently good books at DC. No one cares about because it's Flash. And then there's Flash Forward, which is trying to fix the mess that Tom King ruined with Wally West. I don't know how they're going to do it. I read the first issue, and I was not convinced that they were on the right path. Genlock number 2. I have no idea what this is. Gotham City Monsters. I like Steve Orlando, but I don't care. Miniseries. I can't. Too many miniseries. I hate that. Green Lantern Black Stars, another miniseries. They canceled Green Lantern so they could do a 3-issue miniseries. Are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? And then they're going to go back, from what I understand, is after this is over, they're going to go back to Green Lantern and they're going to start over at 1 again. Harley Quinn. This is my most hated character at DC. I hate this character. She's literally just a crazy woman. She's probably, judging her by that physique, she probably weighs about 110 pounds. She would be as frail as a kitten. And she runs around and she beats up the Trinity. Like, she's stupid. She runs around with this hammer. She wouldn't even be able to hold this hammer. She wouldn't be able to hold this bazooka. Well, an empty bazooka she might be able to hold. She has no powers. I guess her power is she's crazy. And she was great as a Joker side character. As like a Joker henchman. She worked beautifully. Getting under Batman's skin. Batman kind of held back against her because he felt sorry. Like, there were dynamics there. Now running around as her own character, she's worthless. She's terrible. Oh, look, more Harley Quinn. Oh, look, eating a burger. And in true form, because DC just loves their villains, and this is this modern trope of comics where the villains are the heroes now. The villains are what modern progressives want to read about. They don't actually like heroes. In fact, heroes seem villainous to them. Their minds are flip-flopped. So we give them books about villains. So stupid. Hawkman 19. I really love Hawkman. I never used to like, but Pat Oliph's art it's not appealing, I guess. So yeah, read Hawkman. Read Hawkman 1 through 12. Holy shit, it's so good. It made me love Hawkman. This storyline is taking a step back, but the bar was too high. So I'm still going to continue getting it. It definitely earns my buy, but I just lament that I just wish it could stayed as amazing as it was. He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse. Okay. Why does He-Man have a gun? I don't know. It's Tim Seeley. Stay away. Inferior 5. People are saying good things about Inferior 5. I can't no more miniseries. Too many miniseries. More miniseries. Joker Killer Smile #2. Jeff Lemire. Again, I don't care. I don't want to read stories about Joker. Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. Again, another Joker 9-issue miniseries, $6 a piece. No. Written by Cami Garcia. Like, it's Joker and Harley. There's no Batman. Notice the trend here. Villains. No, but Joker with no Batman. Joker and Harley with no Batman. Justice League 3. Here we go. This is what you should be getting at DC. George Jimenez on art. Oh, I love George Jimenez's art. I love him. So good. Scott Snyder's writing. James Tynion is a good writer. Together. I never thought I would be in love with Justice League. Here I am. Justice League Dark. James Tynion's doing his cool thing over there. If I thought I would not like Justice League, when I looked at the lineup of Justice League Dark, I was like, hell no. But I was like, you know what? If I'm going to give one of them a chance, let me give all three a chance. And I'm liking all three. Justice League Odyssey, there's the third one. Dan Abnett is just over there, just doing his deal. He's got Will Conrad. Unfortunately, I was wishing that guy should be on Hawkman. But I guess Justice League Odyssey is a higher profile title. And, oh well. Legion of... At least I get him on one title that I read. I just love Hawkman so much. Legion of Superheroes #2. Here's where we put Ryan Sook, who's a tremendous talent. And we put him over on Bendis because Bendis needs the best artists in order to sell, so that everyone can go, look at how good Bendis is. No, you got the best artists. This is just a train wreck. This is so terrible. I'm so upset with what DC's allowing Bendis to do. Lois Lane by Greg Rucka. It's if you just want to read about Trump derangement syndrome, go ahead. There you go. That's what it is. Look at this. She's the real super in the family. Martian Manhunter 11. This is one of the series that is not getting the attention it deserves. Partly because of Riley Rossmo's art. Some people are like, oh, I love Riley Rossmo's art, Ash. And I'm like, oh, okay. Most people are not in your position. He's growing on me. I'm enjoying the series, and his art is really working for the series. So, yeah, I'm glad I got this. This is a great Martian Manhunter tale. If you don't know Martian Manhunter, you should get this. It tells his whole origin story. And if you do know Martian Manhunter, it adds things to the origin story that maybe you didn't know, that I think is great. It tells about how he was sort of a kind of a corrupt cop when he was a Martian before he became a hero, and his redemption storyline is very heartfelt, and it makes him feel much more like a three-dimensional character. And now part of that might be the Marvelite in me. You know, DC characters are usually a lot more straight up and pure, and it's like, I'm a hero just because I believe in good. And like, they didn't have their moment of like redemption arc. Like, Marvel's a lot more about realism and, you know, everyday people becoming heroes, which is, you know, and they cross over a little bit. But I like that. I like the person who started off not necessarily a hero, but went through the journey and realized that that was the path that they should do. Oh, look, Dan DiDio's writing his own comic, Metal Men. 12-issue miniseries. Cannot pass hard enough on this. Why? You have so many books out. Remember that speech that he gave? It said, we have to cut back 15% because there's not enough good art and writers out there. So we're going to consolidate our line. And they just launch book after book after book after book. Nightwing 67. I guess Nightwing is becoming Talon. I think that's pretty cool. One of the things for me, I always thought Nightwing was kind of a milquetoast character. I always felt it was like Robin, who never really evolved past Robin and just became Robin with a cooler looking suit. And even then, it's not even that much cooler looking. They kind of made the Robin suit. They evolved the Robin suit, so it looks cooler looking. But I wanted to see him transcend in something even more. The way Jason Todd did to become Red Hood. It's like you're not under Batman's wing anymore, so become your own man. And I never thought Nightwing was. He just felt like a Robinless Batman. Or sorry, a Batmanless Robin. Get that backwards. So here, becoming Talon. I know a lot of fans are probably going to hate it, but I think the Court of Owls is really cool. I think this could be really good for him. I love the concept of the Nightwings. Not necessarily its execution, but the concept I like. And it could be a really cool thing if he becomes Talon, and then the whole book later on evolved into a situation where he's not really part of the Owls. He kind of rebels, but keeps the Talon thing and becomes its Talon in the Nightwings. That could be really cool, and he kind of reshapes the Owl. I don't know. There's a lot of ways I think you could go, but I'm interested. Like, this storyline makes me go, I want to know what happens, and that's a good thing. Red Hood Outlaw. Just as I gave up the book, it looks like they're bringing back the Outlaws. Like, that's what made Red Hood and the Outlaw cool. Red Hood and the Outlaws cool was the Outlaws part, like not angsty Red Hood. So we'll see how this turns out. I might have to dive back into this book. RWBY miniseries, don't care. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Not my cup of tea. Shazam number 9. Here's Jeff Johns just kind of writing his own little passion project. It's like, I like Captain Marvel, so I'm going to write Captain Marvel. And unfortunately, the world doesn't care, so we got this master comic creator just quietly overwriting Shazam. It's just like, oh, can you do Batman maybe? Or Superman, please? Supergirl 37. Jody Houser's taking over Supergirl. Don't care, don't read it. Superman 18. Nothing's happened in this book. Superman smashes the Klan. Oh, thank goodness, Superman. What were you going to do? I was getting so tired of the Ku Klux Klan. They're everywhere. I mean, literally, I just see Nazis marching down the street. But thankfully, Superman is here to save the day against a villain that doesn't exist, to help promote progressive propaganda. Fantastic. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. This is legitimately a cool cover here. The B cover, not so much. That looks stupid. That looks gay. But this one's kind of funny. They're trying to make this funny. I get it. They're trying to do Jimmy Olsen, like, oh, look at his little antics that he gets into. Ho ho. The problem is it's 2019 silly Billy humor instead of actual real comedy. It's just LOL so random. That's the whole book. It's just LOL so random. Oh, look, then this happened just randomly. It's so funny. No, random nonsense is not funny. Like, I know you watch TikTok and YouTube and you see all these people making that sort of stuff, and it's like, tee. That's not funny. That's just America's Funniest Home Videos. Oh, look, the little kid playing t-ball, he hit the baseball right into his dad's balls. Oh, it's so funny. Haha. Moving on. Teen Titans 37. I read it a little. I've never been a Titans fan anyway. I think modern Titans are even worse. They're so angsty. And Adam Glass, the little Teen Titans I did read, I did not think much of Adam Glass. So for all you Teen Titans fans out there, good luck. The Terrifics 23. Cool. Someday maybe I'll get to read this line. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled. Hopefully it's good and stays good. Now a 7-issue miniseries. Now a 7-issue miniseries. Was it not a 7-issue miniseries before? Oh, is this one of those things where they launched it originally as a series and then they mini-seriesed it? This is DC's new thing. We're now continuing as a 7-issue miniseries. They did the same thing with the Wonder Twins and Dial H for Hero. We're continuing this as a 12-issue miniseries. No. Translation to non-bullshit. You're canceling it at issue 12. Basketful of Heads is canceled at issue 7. That's what this means. The Dollhouse Family. I don't want photos on my comic covers. DC Black Label? Who's my... Like, why do I care about this? 6-issue... Look at Black Label. This is Books of Magic. It's DC Black Label. Black Label is just becoming new Vertigo. That's all this is. Vertigo is the greatest, most popular, most successful imprint of a mainstream comic ever. Not Black Label, Vertigo. Vertigo is the name people know. This should be a Vertigo book. You should not have canceled it. These books don't even sell. They're garbage. Oh, look at all this. Black Label just went down the shitter. John Constantine, Hellblazer. Oh, The Last God. I don't really know anything about this. It looks cool. I mean, but it's $4.99. It's 32 pages. How long is it? Is it an ongoing? Why should I care? The third chapter... It doesn't say that it's a miniseries, but you can't tell these days. It says book 1 of the Fellspire Chronicles, but this is number 3. I'm so confused. Remember, but DC's we're getting rid of the confusion. Oh, look, here's another Vertigo. Black Label is infested with Vertigo books. And then we have Young Animal. Why is this not canceled? If DC was telling the truth and they would need to have just 3 imprints because they had too many, it was too confusing, what's Young Animal doing? Why is this not a Black Label book? Why is this? Here we go. Oh, it is saying Black Label. Black Label. But that says Young Animal. Far Sector number 2, another Young Animal. Is Young Animal just a sub imprint of Black Label like Hills Comics? Maybe that's it. So maybe they're keeping it. So why don't you just make Vertigo a sub imprint of Black Label? When we got WonderCon, there's another label, another imprint. Dial H for Hero number 10 of 12. Oh, I love it. It does lie. It never was a 12-issue miniseries. Wonder Twins, 10 of 12. God, these books cannot die quick enough. Young Justice. When is this one going to be mini-seriesed? Oh, God. So, here's Naomi now. She's taken over Action Comics. Now she's taken over Young Justice. I just love how Bendis weasels his way into stuff and, like, gets his characters to take over the mainstream. People didn't buy Young Justice for Naomi. People didn't buy Action Comics for Naomi. They bought it for the characters that they loved. You don't get to use it as a tool to prop your creations in there. But whatever. More Bendis. How many books can Bendis possibly write? Well, we counted them up one time and it was 10. 10 in a month. Superman Up in the Sky. I reviewed the first one of this. It was good. I'd kind of be curious to read the whole thing. Andy Kubert's a great artist. Being wasted on this story, if you ask me. Can we do a Wildcats comic with Andy Kubert? Would that be too hard to ask? Titans, Burning Rage. Canceled Titans, but got Titans. Wonder Woman, Come Back to Me. Alright, so now we have the Dollar Comics DC needs to be a little bit flashier with these books. They're just sort of kind of dull, and I don't know, it's just dollar comics, Flash 164. The way Marvel does it is it ties it to something that's going on and makes you want to. I look at this and I'm like, why should I care? I guess it's because Jeff Johns. Okay. Batman 613, Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee run. I guess that's a good one to get. That's an expensive thing to get. Here you get some of the hardcovers and stuff. Oh, Frank Miller's Ronin. $195 for this Artist Gallery edition. $195. Good Lord. This is pretty cool. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2, $16.99 for the trade paperback. I really enjoying that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Batman TMNT 3. I heard the first two aren't quite as good as it, but even if they're close, Aquaman Death of a Prince Deluxe Edition. Okay. The Bat and the Cat 80 Years of Romance hardcover. Oh, God, they are trying to sell you on this Bat wedding so hard. This new hardcover features Batwoman and Catwoman's greatest team-ups from their 80-year history together by some of the best writers and artists in the industry. Follow the famous duo's ups and downs from the 1940s on opposite sides of the law to their recent engagement and more in stories from Batman number 1, number 3, number 15, 324, 392, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's got Tom King writing it, so it's not all the best writers. Alright, so we get Brian Hill's run, Batman the Outsiders 1 through 7. So at least I know now that 7 is the end of this run, which, if it doesn't pick up, I'm probably going to drop after 7. Batman, Arkham Black Mask. Okay. So is this like a Year in the Villain type thing? This looks like that what they're doing here. They're doing trade paperbacks featuring villains and finding classic stories of that villain, which in itself isn't a bad idea. Like I'd rather see that where they actually still are the villain and you just get to read classic comics than a book about them being the villainous hero. Batman, Neil Adams, Batman Beyond. Let's see. Let's do it this way here and get a little faster now that we're into the trades. Nothing interests me here. Oh, they get the Damage trade paperbacks. You'd recommend these. Robert Venditti. Some really cool stuff. That this should not have been canceled. It really sucks that it was. All these Bird of Prey books, no one cares. Green Arrow, canceled for a reason. Flash. Let's see. Harleen is already being advertised hardcover. You can spend $30 for the hardcover instead of wasting your money. I mean, you're paying $8 a piece for the individual books. That's $24. You spend a few extra dollars and get it all in one hardcover. I think that's the way I would rather go. If I was interested in this, which I'm not. Infinite Crisis Omnibus. 1,424 pages. Good God. Oh, jeez. $150 US though. That's. Is it worth that? That's an expensive gift. Justice League Original Deluxe Edition. What was this from? Oh, that's the New 52 Justice League by Jeff Johns. Nightwing by Peter Tomasi. Trade paperback. I didn't know Tomasi did a Nightwing. Omega Man by Tom King. Pass. None of this stuff looks interesting. Some statues for people who like the statues. Hero attire. It's kind of a clever little design here with the lips and the bat symbol. Oh, are these? I heard that Todd McFarlane is designing, like, the new DC toy line is going to go to Todd McFarlane or McFarlane Toys. Are these possibly it? I don't know. That's a cool looking Batman toy, though. Oh, these are expensive. $65. $125 for an action figure? Eee. All right, so here is the back cover and the checklist. It's only one page instead of two, like Marvel. That's it. I got nothing more to say. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing through the previews and seeing what's coming out in December, and hearing what I had to say and my reactions and what I felt versus yours. There's not a lot to be excited about, unfortunately, in DC. And it sucks, man. DC is what got me back in the comics. Rebirth was so good. What is going on? I want them to succeed, man. I give them every chance I got. I bought the Bendis Superman books. I defended Bendis. I bought the Hawkman when Hawkman seemed stupid to me, but everyone said, "Oh, Hawkman's good. You should try it." Okay, I'll try it. Oh, you're right. Hawkman's amazing. I tried these books. I tried. I'm not at all trying to be closed-minded, man. I gave DC every opportunity, but they just seem intent on screwing the pooch. I'm going to keep my eye on this Hell Arisen. It seems like it takes place kind of after everything. It's like the finale, so maybe this is going to be a decent event thing after all. Maybe if it's only 4 issues, it works. As long as there's not something after this and then something after that, something out, and then they just keep. If this is it, then that might be worthwhile. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for listening this long. I appreciate every viewer I have. Not all my videos are like this, so if this is like your first time watching video and you're just like, oh, I only do 2 of these a month. This is just not the normal gig. So don't judge my whole channel based on this. If it's really good, if you really loved it, then do judge my whole channel based on this. No, just kidding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.